Pledge of Allegiance. I'll stand. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call.
Roll call. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Vice Chair. Commissioner Bolin.
Here.
Commissioner, Metcalf.
Present.
Commissioner Peterson, not here. Commissioner Duran couldn't be here tonight. Commissioner Bacon.
Here.
He's not here. Good.
Here telephonically.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Chairman Nisa Verdugo London isn't able to make it. She's stuck in the traffic. And Vice Chair Ray Halby.
Here.
Great. Mr. Vice Chair, we have a quorum.
All right. First business is approval of minutes from November 7th, 2018.
I move we approve the minutes from November 7th.
As printed and distributed.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. New business. Or I'm sorry, old business.
There's no old business.
No old business?
No, sir.
On the new business. We have Cool PZ 1810-35, a rezoning request initiated by the City of Coolidge for approximately 462.6 acres of land located the east side of Wheeler Road between Kleck Road and Steele Road. Parcel number 400-01-06, A, 06B, 06C, 0070, 009A, and 009B, changing the zoning from general rural to agricultural.
Vice Chair, Commissioners, this is a staff-initiated request to change the zoning from what the county has, which is general rural, to agriculture, which is the city designation. We're required to do this within 6 months of annexing the property into the city, so we're getting closer to that time. So this is just that effort to do that, and this is part of the Pinal Land Holdings property that we purchased from the city of Mesa. And this is just something we have to do through a development agreement. So we're just carrying out that and requesting your approval to change the zoning to agricultural. So you want to open up a public hearing and then ask for any input, and then go ahead and close it and take a vote.
So we'll open this up to the public. If anybody would like to speak on the matter, please step to the podium.
This is for rezoning, so it's only a rezoning, not using up yet. Yeah.
No? Okay, we'll close it to the public. We'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Cool PZ 18-10-35 and there's no amendments, so I move that we just approve it as written.
Very good.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think he said aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carried. Second item on the list, we have Cool PZ 18-10-36, a rezoning request initiated by the City of Coolidge for approximately 3 acres of land located on the west side of Wheeler Road, south of Story Road, parcel number 401-38-001D, changing the zoning from general rural to agricultural.
Mr. Vice Chair, Commission members, this is as a previous one, except it's 3 acres instead of 400 plus, and it's the same thing. It's the annexation, City of Mesa property that Pinal Land Holdings has, and we're just bringing it into our agricultural designation from general rural, which is the county. So we ask for your conduct a public hearing, and then for your vote, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Resolution 18-09 is mentioned on line 5. What is Resolution 18-09? Under Cole PZ,
Mr. Commissioner, I believe that's a misspelling.
that's a typo?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Apologize.
yep, just
There's
wanted
no
to know what it was.
resolution.
Yeah.
There's no resolution here. It's just no
I
resolution.
thought, that's why I wondered why it was there, so.
Yeah, as far as
Okay, can we make a motion?
Now we need to open it to public.
We do need to open it to the
Yes, sir.
public.
Mr.
You're correct. We'll open this up to the public. If anybody like to speak, please step to the podium. No? Okay, we'll close it to the public. Now we'll enter a motion.
Chairman, I motion to approve Coolidge PZ 18-1036.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. All right. I believe this is the last issue on the agenda for today. So we have Cool PZ 18, excuse me, -11-37, a CUP, a conditional use permit submitted by Anthony Warren on behalf of Hope International Ministry for a church and a food bank located at 1280 North Arizona Boulevard, Coolidge, Arizona, parcel number 203-17-0880. Mr. Lopez.
Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioners, Pastor Anthony Warren has, on behalf of, as you mentioned, Hope International Ministries, has applied for a church and conditional use permit for a church and a food bank. What we found when we looked at it's in the report is that the overlay allows the church, the zoning allows the food bank, but the food bank restricts worship services. So in talking about the actual proper application of zoning, as we can do, because the zoning administrator, what we determined and what we're recommending is you approve the conditional use for a church, and then they can distribute food boxes as part of a church like other churches do in the city. So that would meet their requirements, and they're here to speak to that. And because when you look at a food bank itself, I envision like St. Mary's Food Bank up in the valley. We have a big building, it's all-day operation. They're bringing in semis with vegetables and trucks of food. People are coming there and picking up food all times of day. So this is not what they're planning to do.
Lines
So-
and lines of people and cars.
Right. So this is actually more like what the churches do in the city now, which they just put out to their members. They're giving out food boxes a certain time of day, and maybe the pastor can explain more what they have. So we recommend approval of the church, and then of course with the allowance to do the food boxes, but it's not a full-fledged food bank by definition. Is that
It's
correct?
like a food pantry, just boxes containing food. He'll explain the hours that they do it and the day that they do it, and it's really not a food bank. That wouldn't be appropriate probably at this location.
All right. We'll open it to the public. Please, tell us.
You can lift it straight up, maybe you can get.
Yeah, and then just to state your name and your address for the record, and then
My name is Anthony Warren, I'm a pastor of Hope International Ministry. This is my wife, Audrey Warren, and she's more in charge of the food pantry.
Your address, sir?
Address of the building is 1280 North Arizona Boulevard.
Okay.
Right. So that's what the location that we plan to have it at. So I'll let my wife explain the details. I'll find some silences.
Hi.
hold.
Down a little bit.
Oh, you're good.
That mic doesn't sound like it's on.
You may want to.
Is it?
Is it on? Maybe it's. Maybe the batteries are bad.
There we go.
I'll try to use my outside voice. Like he was saying, we're a church, Hope International Ministry. We've been here in Coolidge for approximately 5 years. We had our church and our pantry was separate. Our pantry was on Main Street, and the owner of the building thought he sold the building, and so he didn't renew our lease. We were there for a year. We give out food boxes
Excuse me.
once a week, and every third Monday of the month. We only give the boxes out between the hours of probably like 11 and 1:30 at the latest. And that's it. We pick up deliveries Monday and Thursday, but it's only a couple of us that's going in and out with food. But as far as giving out food, it's only every Thursday, every third Monday.
So let me ask you, do you feel the parking's adequate for your services?
Oh, I do. Especially compared to where we were. It's a lot more parking, and it's a lot better than what it was.
So as far as the food bank itself goes, you're basically operating it 1 day a week or 2 days a week that you're actually doing food bank type things?
It's 1 day a week that we give out food.
Right.
Every Thursday. If we, like before we were working with United Food Bank and just us. So with United Food Bank, we would give out every third Monday of the month. So maybe 1 week out of the month would be 2 days. If we have that Monday and then that Thursday.
When do you prep the boxes for giving them out? The same day you're giving them out?
We come in early that morning.
Okay, so basically it's 1, maybe 2 days a week that you're working as far as the food bank itself goes.
Yes.
Okay,
Food pantry.
And I would call
Food
it food
pantry, excuse
pantry.
food pantry, excuse me.
Yeah, that's not a food pantry.
Incorrect, we're not doing a food bank. Okay,
And it requires everything happen inside the building, so there's no outside storage of food or anything like that. So it'll be enclosed in the building itself.
they can't add a condex to the back of the building or to the property to store things in?
Yeah, I think they have enough inside the building, but yeah, no.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Please come to the podium.
Well, maybe we should talk about the church just briefly. I mean, that's the food,
That's what.
maybe
next
the church services, how often do they church services and what days and hours?
I was hoping anybody else talked about food bank first. Any questions on the food bank?
Nope.
Okay, tell us about the church services. Your turn, sir.
Okay. All right.
Pastor.
Everybody's welcome to come. Well, service is basically going to be twice a week. Most likely going to be a 10:30 service and a midweek service like a Wednesday, like about 6 o'clock service. So that's pretty much it. We got good parking. The building next to us, they're not operational on Sundays, so let's keep the extra parking if we needed it. But we're a small congregation. We're not a huge congregation.
You won't be using it for child care services during the week or running any other kind of operation to help your congregation during the week?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
We're not that big.
If they add this to if they were to add that, a nursery school or something in there for the week, would they need additional permits to do that, or can they operate under what we're giving them tonight?
I think if they talk about putting in a child care or some preschool or something like that, that would not fall under the church activity. That'd have to come in as a separate conditional use permit. This is a conditional use permit for a church, which is for church services, worship services. We start talking about preschools and daycare. That falls under a complete different activity and use. We really wouldn't, building may be a little, that may not, exiting requirements. There are state agencies that oversee child care. So no, they'd have to come in and get special approvals to do that type of an activity there in the building.
Well, I was just looking at the conditional use permit for a food bank and what it stated here, and things like that were told that you could not do. I just wondered if you could do them under a church thing, because that would increase the use of the property, and it may benefit their congregation a great deal. But I think that we need to know that that's going to be, going having church meetings 2 or 3 times a week is not a big deal. But having a full-time, 8 to 5 school system going on in the building as well would be a difference.
Yeah, and you're approving a conditional use permit, so it's limited to that right
Okay.
now, not
Just
the
the
zone.
scope.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. That's my questions.
Does the conditional use permit stay on this building forever and ever? I just wanted to make that point clear.
Yes, it can be it can be removed for just cause. It would have to come back to you for that. But if somebody was to say they got a bigger building and left, and somebody came in with a C2 use, then they could do that because the zoning is C2 already. But somebody could come in with another church and go in under the restrictions that are on a conditional use.
Okay.
So the conditional use permit will allow them to do a church, but it'll also let me go and put a business in there later?
Yeah, the zoning that's in
zoning's still
place
there.
still there.
Yeah.
The church just needs a conditional use permit.
To go in.
If they decided that this isn't going to work for them, they want a different building, the zoning is still in place to allow for insurance offices. That's what was there previously, or other professional offices and some retail. I mean, there's some limited retail,
Or another church.
or another church. That's right. Correct.
And to not get complicated, actually the reason that the church is allowed there in the first place is because there's an overlay zone for the entertainment district that allows it. Because normally churches aren't allowed in commercial areas, but we have most of the boulevard, a lot of downtown under an overlay that allows churches. So that's why it can go in as a conditional use.
300 foot on each side of the highway.
Yes, I believe that's right.
It looks like a great use for the building. I don't know how they're going to remodel the inside to make it work, but not my problem. No, I'll let you talk to Carrie back there. She's the one that can tell you. She used to have an office in that building.
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're excited that you guys allowing us to do it, and we just want to help the community, so.
Works for me.
Fantastic.
We have no plans on opening a daycare. I am over 50. Not gonna happen.
Gilbert, I have 2 papers here.
Mhm.
One is a resolution, Coolidge PZ 1812, and we are approving Coolidge PZ 181137. Well, I'm sorry. We're discussing the approval of Coolidge PZ 181137. Is 1812 something different that we're doing?
No, it just may be the numbering, but it's just the resolution number. So as long as you approve the item and the resolution that goes with it can be signed,
Okay.
that's fine.
The Cool PZ case number is a number that we use for zoning cases.
To track it.
But, we haven't done the same number of resolutions during the years we've had planning cases. Some cases don't require a resolution. That's why you have a case
Okay,
number.
so when we vote on this, we will be voting on
Both, yes.
both Coolidge PZ and,
Yeah, it'll include the resolution, yes,
Okay.
sir.
I just want to make sure we did it right.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yes,
please, come to the podium. Tell us your name, tell us where you live.
What if we already know?
Keep you outside, boy. Sorry about that.
Cameras. You're on TV.
I know. My name's Kim Johnson.
Kim.
My address is 1205 North Calvary Lane. Means nothing to you guys.
I used to be your neighbor.
Behind it. Or they're directly behind me, because I was the first. We had a private conversation out in the hallway, and my main concerns were when you get notification from the city, and I am not naive about city business. I was on council for a long time, so I understand this. That's why I'm here. I wanted to know what this was. state, if they want to expand and make more service days, more services during more days, I would hope they would have to come back to you to change the parameters of what it
Should probably stipulate that it be Sunday and Wednesday worship.
is. That true or not true?
The Chair, Commission members, and Ms. Johnson, the way they could do that is to limit or stipulate in the authorization in approving it that the days of worship will be limited, or that it'll be limited as presented in scope, and that would keep it to that level.
I could add one more thing. We have rehearsal on Saturday. Saturday music. You like music though. You said you like music. So yeah, rehearsal on Saturday. We just leave that Saturday just for rehearsal. Sometimes training. So that, other than that, we do. Because I like to be there all the time.
And they, my understanding, and I'll say it publicly, my understanding is they have the services on Sunday, the Bible study on Wednesday, their food boxes on Thursdays, and whatever Monday was. Now he's telling me they have rehearsal on Saturday, which is,
I never said it.
I just hope that the parking lot contains their congregation, and they
Yes.
don't have a line of cars
Absolutely.
down the street, so they can't get out on the driveways, and all that kind of stuff that goes on. That was my concern. I'm just, trying to protect my little,
Your little corner of the world?
Very valid. Very valid.
well, a lot of things have gone on back there that no one's probably tells about.
I used to be your neighbor. I lived at 1160.
You know idea where that is?
They change it.
Remember the pink house with the
Pink house with the horse on it?
right next door? Right next door.
Yeah, keep going.
Yep.
So, it's a quiet neighborhood, and I just wanted to stay quiet.
Vice Chair Halby.
But
Just-
I don't object to what I heard at this moment.
Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Kim. Hey, Vice Chair Halby, just quickly, and for Pastor Anthony's edification, this building was formerly used as a insurance office, and I suspect that you're going to be changing the interior to accommodate a church congregation and doing some modifications to the interior. So those will require building permits, and I think Pastor Anthony understands the building permitting process. He'll have to come in and get building permits from the city. We'll see a plan that shows how the interior is going to be used for the church congregation. We base our parking requirements on the seating area for your congregation. So you're limited to the number of parking spaces. So your congregation is going to somewhat be dictated, the size of it, dictated by the number of parking spaces that you have. So we'll have to make sure that this works. Because I believe, I think Kim is raising a good point here, is that we don't want people parking all over the neighborhood because, so I think we just have to, as we look at the plans, we'll make sure when they submit their plans for the interior, that we have adequate number of parking spaces to meet their plan. And we'll work with you in the permitting process to ensure that you don't exceed that, okay?
I got one more thing to add. If we grow to be, outgrow that building, so to say, or service, then it can be possible, what I would suggest, that we may do two services. If one earlier and then the one after that. And then you alleviate people parking all down the street and all that stuff. That's the way around it.
I don't know, we'd be talking about one service that's an hour and a half and then another service, but it's still a way, but,
Just in case that happens, we might have a board meeting.
yeah, I think how do you feel?
And I do believe with the additional parking that he has available with the doctor's office not being open on Sunday.
Yes, they do have to get permission from that property owner to use that parking area. They'd have to get some kind of an agreement, a joint use agreement for that Sunday.
Anybody else like to get up and speak?
I guess I'm the only one that lives there.
No, you and Boyd live there.
I don't know, I lived, as
Why do I have to ruin it, huh?
my name's Melissa Reed. I live in Country 21017 East Sunset Drive. And, my family trust owns that property. And, I'm just very excited. They're good people and, I'm glad the building won't be vacant any longer. Because of the TV and stuff that goes on in the back is kind of ugly and eyesore for everybody. And it's just nice to have good people in the building to keep that kind of vandalism out.
Yep.
I was overhearing the conversation out in the hall as I introduced them. One of the things that is not so much a problem now that the palm trees have grown up is the lights in the back do shine into the neighborhood, and we may want to, as if you're the property owner, they do provide some shields that you can put up on those lights to keep that light from spilling over onto the adjacent property. It'd be really good if you could, if we could kind of prevent that light pollution from going over into the neighbor's property.
Shining in their bedroom.
It shines in my grandchildren. Okay. And it scares them. Oh, because of the
Shadows.
blinds I have.
It's really an easy fix, though. I mean, to put a shield up there.
Piece of sheet metal. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Yep. Okay, we'll close the public. Open it up to us, gentlemen.
Chairman, I motion to approve Coolidge PZ 181137 and the resolution 18-12 that is attached to that.
Very good.
With the following amendments. The schedule of meetings has been stated here tonight. Any changes to that schedule needs to come back to the board so that we can fulfill the requirements that the neighborhood is asking to receive.
And Mr. Chair and Commissioner Metcalf, you could state that any substantial changes to the, so if, like, say the time changes from 7 to 8, that's a change, but it's not substantial to the.
It's not a
point.
substantial,
Yeah, but
okay.
If it's something
Any
large.
substantial changes to the schedule,
So if
like-
that results in a massive increase of people, then we could certainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay? Is that okay with you, Kim? Does that fill your requirements?
Yeah, I was just, my thought was, from listening to Gilbert, listening to him, any church could come in there, and with this conditional use permit, and I'm not saying that he's supposed to, any church could come in, maybe they'll have service every single day.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying any substantial change to the scheduling by anybody needs to come back to the board.
It's a church. Yeah.
That's a church. Okay?
Very good.
That,
Changes, right? Because if you have a revival could be 3 days.
yeah. Any substantial change where, like, you're going to have meetings all day Sunday, every Sunday. You understand what I'm saying? That's a substantial change.
Something that's
And-
going to substantially impact the community.
No, I think I understand, but that doesn't mean we plan to have something on Saturday.
No.
No.
I mean, you're going to have out of the ordinary things that are going to happen. You're going to have a picnic,
Events, car wash.
an event, a car wash. Yeah, it's not going to affect every Saturday from then on. But if you're going to have something every Saturday from then on that's going to be a major effect on the neighborhood, then it needs to come back. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say? I think I understand better what I'm trying to say now.
Very good. Can I get a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Speak. Yep, he said yes.
All opposed? Passed. Motion carried.
Yay. All right.
Very good.
Be good neighbors. Good neighbors.
All right.
Pastor, before you leave, I need your signature on this.
Gilbert, do we have any reports?
Um, Mr. Vice Chair, Commissioners, the only thing I'd like to say, I want to thank you for all your hard work throughout the year. And this is our last meeting before the end of the year, and I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And thank you all for all your hard work. And we'll go at it next year, and good things are happening. So,
Likewise, same to you. Merry
you.
Christmas.
Yes,
Merry Christmas to you all.
you too.
All right. Call to the public. All right. I move to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
adjourn.